everyone, we are the Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
I'm Buzz.
That's when, and today we have another episode of the Big Feature Film Review where we talk about the most recent theatrical releases in theatrical theaters. Today we're talking about the latest Pixar release, Lightyear, starring Chris Evans, Keke Palmer, Taika Waititi, written and directed by, give me a second. That's not who it was written and directed by. I'm looking it up. But before we get started and I tell you who wrote and directed this movie, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and give us 5 stars if you're listening on a podcast app. Directed by Angus MacLane, and it has 6 different writers. Or no, 3 different writers, and then there's the based on characters by Angus MacLane, Jason Headley, and Matthew Aldrich. Buzz Lightyear follows the well-known and loved Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. This is allegedly the movie that Andy saw that made him fall in love with Buzz, and it's a movie very meta in a sense, but they crash land they go to a planet as space rangers and they see if it's inhabitable, and then Buzz messes up.
Yep.
And he does light speed travel and ages and stuff goes like that. It's crazy. But
It's nuts.
we're gonna talk about plot, I guess performances.
Yeah, they're fine.
Voice act performances.
Yeah. Okay.
And just what we thought about the movie. So I already kind of said the plot, so knock it out.
Yeah.
Even though there's some parts of the plot that I'll talk about later that are kind of spotty and weird, but performance-wise, I thought everyone did fine. I think everyone who was bitching about it not being Tim Allen can shut up. I think Chris Evans did great.
I never really thought about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was fine, and even besides the fact that people don't like Tim Allen because they want to like cancel him or whatever, I thought it didn't really matter. I mean, this is a movie kind of within a movie almost, and Chris Evans did good. He was a good choice.
Hold on a second. Zurg is voiced by James Brolin.
Yeah,
They should have had Josh Brolin.
that would have been funny.
Yeah, that would have been really interesting.
But yeah, I think everyone did good. I liked it.
I didn't care too much about it.
But what you just
Bill Hader was in this?
yeah, he was
For
the
feathering Hamston.
There you go. That was the joke in the movie. You can't say his fucking name. What did you think about Lightyear? So before we get into the meat and potatoes, I want to say I really love Toy Story. It's probably one of my favorite movies like ever. The first one, I mean, first 3. The 4th one I can take or leave, unfortunately. I was really excited for that. But Buzz Lightyear, I had the toys, I had the Woody, all that.
I have the toys.
And like I loved it. I still have a Buzz Lightyear blanket from when I was like 3 years old that like is my comfort blanket.
That's gonna be so musty now.
Oh yeah, it is. But I love the thing. So Buzz has a special place in my heart, and I was excited for this movie regardless of what was being said about it or how people felt about it. I was gonna see this movie, and I did, and I'll say it before we get to your like thoughts. I was disappointed.
Yeah, today I guess is opposite day, isn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's because I genuinely did like this movie.
Really?
I mean, I didn't even think about the plot or anything. I mean, the plot to me was just
There.
yeah.
Fair.
I never really thought much about the plot. It was at least they didn't go in the direction that I thought they were going with,
Okay.
which is Zurg being his father.
Yeah,
Because I genuinely thought that's where
I
they were
like
going.
that they kind of mixed it up, but I also was like, well, if you're going to stick so hard with the source material, why not keep going with it?
Yeah, that's true.
From 2, like there was a lot of quotes from 1 and 2 that Buzz says, and those are some of my favorite moments, and I really liked them.
Yeah.
But then it's like everything else is like the story feels like a different movie. It feels like it's copying things and derivative of other stuff. It's just like it just went nowhere for me, and I just was so disappointed because I was very emotional watching this movie. I was very invested.
Yeah.
But there were so many parts. I'm like, okay, let's keep going. There's some cool scenes, but then it's like, what are we doing? So
You just didn't feel it. You just didn't feel the vibe.
I guess
I guess because I saw this with like a bunch of parents and children, and they were having a good time, so that just
Maybe
reflected
that's
onto
why.
me.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why. Like, I would have loved to see this in a theater with a bunch of people who like Buzz as much as me.
Yeah.
Because like there was moments like I was like really excited, and like there's one scene near the end that I was like I put my hands up. I was like, yes, like it's so exciting.
I mean, if I watched this movie alone, I would have been really annoyed. I'm not even gonna lie, because okay, first of all, I don't like children. Children annoy me. They bother me so much, especially children nowadays. Children back in our days, it was more tamed because they didn't have iPads, or TikToks, So when I watched this with a bunch of parents and kids, I was actually really having a good time, because normally if it was just me alone and I was watching this movie and Socks just came out of nowhere, I would have been like, "Fuck off! You're just selling me a toy. I don't care." But I thought because of the way they reacted, I thought he was funny.
Oh, I think Socks was the MVP of the movie.
Yeah, he was the MVP.
I was like seeing from the trailers, I was like, oh, it's whatever. It's like
a toy.
Robot toy. Yeah. Like, that's cute or whatever. But like, it was actually probably one of the funnier parts of the movie, and I actually enjoyed like the character of Socks, and so I did enjoy that.
Now that I think about it, this is basically just Captain Marvel.
A little bit. There's just so many things. Like, it felt very Star Warsy. It felt very Back to the Future. There was just so many things that I felt like it derived from, and I was like, this kind of sucks. Like, we don't necessarily know the story of Buzz Lightyear. Make it something original and kind of cool.
To be fair, that was a thing in the 80s. Star Wars and
I guess
Back to the Future. It kind of
fits that of having kind of the old nostalgic vibes.
Yeah.
But it felt too derivative. Like, it had the vibes, but it was too like copying of other stuff.
But like it is what you would expect from the 90s.
I guess.
Right? Like, these were very popular. Star Wars was very popular. So obviously, if you think about this in Andy's perspective, because this is supposed to be the Andy's experience, right? If you think about this is like high-end realistic graphics for them. True. Like, this is like high-end CGI. This is the realest shit that you can watch.
I mean, and I did put myself in the shoes of like Andy, and like I was like, I would have loved this too. Like, I would have wanted the toys and stuff. Like, I was even like, I kind of want like an original Buzz Lightyear now, because just to have. But I was also like, it's kind of stinky. I don't.
But think about it this way. Imagine yourself sitting in that fucking seat as Andy, and you're just watching this movie. You're just like going nuts because the CGI is incredible, and it's so realistic.
I guess. Wynn's being more optimistic than usual, and I don't like it.
Because I don't know. I had. Okay, I didn't have any hope for this movie before entering it.
Fair.
And I had, like 2 seconds to think about why I'm watching this movie.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I got there, children came in, and I'm like, these kids.
Get them out of here.
Get the fucking out of here. The kids were talking.
Trying to watch cinema.
Yeah. And after a while, it just kind of sank into me that like, oh, this, if I was like 10, I would probably love this movie.
And I definitely think, I mean, it's Pixar. It's obviously a kid's movie. It's not Turning Red, where it's about periods, unfortunately.
Oh, you finally admitted it. It is about periods.
I still don't really think it's about periods.
It's about periods.
Go watch it.
It says Turning Red.
Go watch our Turning Red review. But I think overall, like, Pixar, the past few movies have been straight to Disney Plus, and they've been pretty okay. I think this is like bottom of the barrel the past 4 Pixar movies, unfortunately.
Yeah, well.
Like, I liked a lot of the animation. It was good. It was Pixar level, maybe a little bit below, because they've done some pretty cool stuff, like the different styles with Turning Red and like Luca. But this one felt weird. I think
at this point they're just trying to find their style again, because I think their biggest sell back in the day was completely computer.
Yeah.
And now they're just trying to find like a
new
thing to hold on to, because Pixar is being outdone by multiple other studios,
which is crazy to think, because Pixar used to be like the top thing,
the epitome,
and now it's even like I don't know, Universal, like the Puss in Boots trailer played, and they're doing something stylistic with it, and I really like it. Or The Bad Guys, which was another recent like Universal, that's like a new like IP, and it had some cool stuff in it. And I like The Bad Guys more than I like this. We didn't do a review on The Bad Guys, but I really enjoyed it. But this one it kind of fell flat, unfortunately, besides the nostalgia fact for me.
I think Pixar, animation wise, they're doing I think what they're doing is like they're exploring the uncanny valley almost
a little bit.
Yeah, because like some of the stuff they've come out with looks very realistic, but in this very cartoony shape. Yes. And I both like it and don't like it at the same time.
And that's very much, I would say, seen in this movie.
And I think that's what I think that's what they're gravitating towards, is that sort of innovation where they can just make something look very realistic but cartoony at the same time. So I think I get what you're saying, but honestly, I didn't think much about this movie other than just enjoying it.
See, and I wish you would do this more often, but I guess also that gives us a good like dichotomy or whatever, where we like go against each other, because typically I am you watching this, like I'm like, I just enjoy it, but I think I was too heavily invested in the buzz. I was too buzzed for this movie to where I'm like, it's just I don't know, man, like I wanted it to be like good.
It's funny because the only problem that I had with this movie was the lesbian stuff.
Hey, you want to get into that?
Yeah, I'll get into that.
I mean, so I want to.
It's not in the way that people think.
Yeah.
It is.
So I just beforehand, like this movie, I don't remember where, but it's literally rated R because of that, which I think is absolutely
probably China.
No, it's not showing in China at all.
Oh, fair enough.
Somewhere, I think it's somewhere in Asia. It's literally rated R because there's a lesbian kiss. Nice.
Sorry, that's so
I know that gets you choked up, but
that's so funny.
But I
like, what do they put in the rating? Like rated R for lesbianism?
Probably something like that.
Oh,
but God. I just think that, and
I mean, I respect them, but still,
I think it's
a bit much.
Interesting. My take, actually, I'll say mine first.
Yeah, I thought you were afraid to say something.
No, my take is like, so I get it. And like, I'm completely okay with it. Like, do that. Yeah. People who bitch about representation like this in movie, it's absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
But also, on the lore standpoint, this is the movie Andy saw. And if we're assuming Toy Story, the first one, took place in 1995 when it came out, unfortunately, that was 30 years ago, and the world was a different place. It just doesn't make much sense if you're gonna advertise it as the movie Andy saw. Like gay marriage wasn't even legal. Like, it doesn't.
Well, this is a different space.
Maybe. I mean, you could say, that's a different multiverse or whatever. I just have a big,
maybe the multiverse was
I don't
different.
have an issue that it happened. I just have an issue that they advertise it as, this is the movie Andy watched. Because if we're gonna say it's 1995, there was people still hiding their sexuality because they were scared to come out. Like that, it just feels weird. I get what they're doing, but
you and I were talking about this while we were fishing, like how it was like, they were still throwing rocks at them back in the day.
It's just like, literally the 90s. I'm sure it's probably not much better like around the world, but the United States is a different place.
It was less accepting.
Yes. And so, like, I've been trying to think of a movie from the 90s, and I'm sure there are ones out there, but I'm sure there wasn't many like gay movies that were being like accepted by the Oscars. Like like Hollywood, I wouldn't say has always been accepting, but they've been on the accepting side first before the whole world is. And so it just felt out of place.
It's funny.
To me, it was just a scene that passed by, and I think I like that Disney didn't edit it out for other countries, because otherwise I'm like, you just want money.
That's true. Yeah.
But besides that, to me, it was just a scene. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't see the big discrepancy with it. So, but what's your take?
My problem isn't even like representation or anything like that. My problem is Disney trying to be representative.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, because like with the way they're leading their corporation, basically the way they're leading their company, it's very counterintuitive or counterproductive. It's very opposite of what they're saying versus what they're doing.
And not to just keep going, to play devil's advocate, I'm pretty sure there's the don't say gay bill, and I think a lot of the Disney heads are like, oh, whatever about it.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, we're gonna put this in our movie. So I think it's more of like the workers are trying to get it in there, which is cool.
Yeah,
like, but
that's
also,
fine.
But there shouldn't be this bashing heads.
Yeah,
it
that's
should
what I
just
mean
be
by
put in
yeah.
there or not. The fact, I would say I have an issue with that too. The fact that we're even having that conversation of like, just put it in or don't. So,
and it also feels very disingenuous.
Yes,
for Disney to be doing something like this, because like if you think about it, like, yeah, they're mostly in there for the money. So what way would they do this with by doing something that would be more popular?
It's like literally you just summed it up perfectly. Disney's doing it for the money.
Yeah.
And if anyone tries to defend Disney, you're wrong. Everyone knows they're a monopoly.
And a controversy with this movie. I mean, there is a controversy with this movie. It's a lot of people not accepting the way it is just free publicity.
Yes, literally.
Like bad, good or bad. This level of publicity isn't even that bad.
No.
Because like, you could cancel someone and that's bad publicity. That's absolutely bad publicity. But if you have a movie like this where it's just light representation, it's somewhat bad, but it has
like you said, it feels disingenuous.
Yeah, and that's what I don't like about Disney doing this sort of things. Because like, if you're gonna commit all the way.
Yeah.
Show like the characters like being together. Show the characters doing stuff together.
And I see. I was scared you'd get us canceled, but I'm agreeing with you. Like it's. I agree 100%. Like, don't show like 4 scenes like, oh, she's standing next to her wife.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one scene where they kiss.
Yeah.
Like, actually show these characters.
Yeah.
Like, it still feels like, oh, you're just still trying to keep them in the closet.
Yeah.
Like, literally, the only scene we see their wife is opening a door.
Yeah. If you're gonna like, let's say, mostly the people who are gonna complain about this are Republicans, right? Yeah. And they're always like, well, you gotta be tough. You gotta be tough skin, thick skin. You gotta be. People these days are so like easily offended. You show some shit like this and they get offended. So oh God, gay people.
I love. I mean, I love when it's like they call people snowflakes.
Yeah, right.
And then it's like they get mad about this. I'm like, can't we all just be people?
Show a movie.
It's like
where it's all about gay people, and they're like, "Why would you make this?" Oh God.
Yeah, it's final thoughts for Lightyear. It hit every nostalgia point it needed to for me. I got emotional in certain parts. Like me and my brother both teared up, and I didn't know he cared about Toy Story that much. And it probably wasn't even that. It conveyed emotion well, but it's still just like, as a movie, it kind of sucked.
I don't know. I felt like Andy. I felt like I was sitting like Andy in that
But
movie.
I did too, is the issue. Like, it hit all
22-year-old.
All the nostalgia points. Like, I loved it, but also I was like, this movie's just still kind of ass.
This, I will say, I think as a final thoughts, I think this is the only movie, because like I mentioned in the Jurassic World review that I was kind of done with nostalgia movies, and I've been done for it for like since we started this. But this is the only time where I'm like, yeah, this is a nostalgia that I'm okay with, because I grew up with this.
It did it well.
Yeah, I thought like,
and I get the Jurassic Park, like, yeah,
because like nowadays nostalgia is like for sale. It's like we're trying to sell you something, so we're just gonna add this in there because you guys are dumb-minded and you guys are probably really stupid, and so
like, I think this is you can't say that. This is probably how I would feel about a Jaws remake.
Yeah,
is like, oh yeah, you hit every nostalgia point, but it's still just like a shitty movie. Like,
I wouldn't say remake. I would say like a kind of sequel for like the other movies, and then they do all this shit, and you're just like, well, yeah, this is definitely for nostalgia. And
yes,
it's like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But on that note, let's get to our ratings on the Continuity Crew. We do 2 different ratings. We do critical and entertainment, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. what's your critical rating?
Critically, I give this movie about a 5.5.
Ooh.
You thought I was gonna give it higher.
Oh God, I wonder if that picked up on mic. I just farted if it didn't. For me, I'll give it a 5.5 as well. It was good enough. Entertainment value, what do you say?
I give it an 8.
An 8.
Yeah, I had a good time. Even though I sat there alone. Actually, there was the little kid right next to me, which was really bizarre that the dad was cool with it. But like, it was like
that's how I
enjoyed it.
I'm always I always, whenever I go to like a kids movie, I'm like, I hope there's not a lot of kids in here, and I hope the parents just don't look at me. I always feel so weird. I'm like, I'm just trying to watch the movie. Don't think I'm some like pedophile or something. I promise. Like, I just want to see Sing 2. I just want to watch the Minions.
It's funny because I probably was the least pedophile looking dude, because there was another guy that was like across me that was a little older.
Mm-hmm.
And he was sitting alone with popcorn. I'm like, man, that looks really weird.
Yeah, they're the ones that ruin it for us. Entertainment value for me though, I'm just gonna copy you again. I'll give it an 8. I honestly want to give it like a 10, but I think they blew their load. Like I said, it was too quick with all the references, the ending, like a lot of the climactic sequences, super cool. I liked a lot of the action stuff too, but all the stuff in between ruined part of that for me. But that's our big feature film review for Lightyear. Yeah,
just out of nowhere. If you would like a Continuity Crew Pride sticker,
we're the Proud Boy Continuity Crew. No, okay. Well,
you know what Proud Boys are?
No, I do.
Oh, okay, cool.
That was the joke.
Okay. That's so ironic. I didn't even think about that.
Or the Proud Pride Boys. Or the Proud Pride Boys. We've broken off to where we've grown up in a very Republican state, but we love the gays.
No, the Proud Boys just like disbanding. And the
There's
other
different
guys
like sects of them, yeah. But yeah, that's our review for Lightyear.
And then they go all fluid. They're just like, we're not Proud Boys anymore. We're proud genders.
Anyways, though, that's a review for Lightyear. Thank y'all for listening.
Yeah, it's gonna be like this for the next week.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, give us 5 stars, whatever you got to do. We love movies. We love y'all. I forgot to say that in the last episode. Thank y'all for listening. Bye.
Bye.